Hello, my dear children. How are you? I hope you must have enjoyed my previous lectures. Today, I'm back again with another chapter from your book, Flamingo, the last lesson by Alphonse Daudet. Alphonse Daudet was a French writer. He was a teacher. French novelist and short story writer. He was born in 1814 France and died in 1897. Formerly he was a school teacher. He quit it to make a living as a journalist in Paris. He took to writing his poems collected into a volume called The Emerauses. Now let us go through the summary of the lesson. This chapter is a first person account. फर्स्ट पर्सन अकाउंट कौन सा होता है? जो हीरो नरेट करता है, जो खुद कहानी अपनी नरेट करता है. यहाँ कहानी का हीरो एक छोटा लड़का है, 10 साल 12 साल का, फ्रांस. So the story is narrated by a French boy, France. He is lazy but sensitive and likes to play. He dislikes studying French and hates his teacher, Mr. Hamel. अब हुआ क्या? युद्ध में बर्लिन ने फ्रांस के 2 डिस्ट्रिक्ट जीत लिए सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर में. After overpowering the districts of Alsace and Lorraine in France, Berlin had ordered that German language instead of French be taught in the schools there. In the last year of their French teacher, Mr. Hamel, who had been there for 40 years, is full of grief, nostalgia and patriotism. As a mark of respect of his hard work, the village men also attend the last lesson. They are sad that they didn't learn their mother tongue, French, in their childhood. France is shocked to know that it is his last lesson. As he doesn't know French, now suddenly he gets interested in learning it and understands everything taught on that day. He develops an instant liking for the teacher, Mr. Hamel, and respects him for his sincerity and hard work. He feels sad at departing from him and is ashamed for not being able to recite the lesson of participles. Mr. Hamel tells him that they are all at fault for not being eager enough to learn, putting it off to the next day. He blames himself for not teaching them sincerely. His patriotism is reflected in his praise for the French language as being the most beautiful and most logical language of the world. He tells the class to guard their language, as being close to one's language is the key to escape from the prison of slavery. It will help them in getting free from Germans. They realize the importance of learning their mother tongue and that they have been defeated by the Germans because of their illiteracy. Frank feels that it is not possible to take away one's language from a person, as it is natural to each being, may it be the coo of the pigeons or the French of the Englishman. This is what, in a nutshell, this language was. Now, let us read and paraphrase the lesson. Now, friends, narrates, I started for school very late that morning and was in a great dread of scolding, especially because Mr. Hamill had said that he would question us on participles, and I didn't know the first word about it. In great dread of मतलब in fear of, डरते हुए. The narrator of the story is a young school-going boy named Franz. उस सुबह वो बहुत डरा हुआ था क्योंकि वो स्कूल को लेट हो गया था और साथ में ये भी बात थी कि उसके टीचर मिस्टर हेमल ने पिछले दिन अनाउंस किया था कि आज वो उनका पार्टिसिपल्स का टेस्ट लेगा और फ्रेंड्स को पार्टिसिपल्स का एबीसी भी नहीं पता था. He was more scared of being scolded. उसे डर था कि आज तो मार पड़ेगी ही पड़ेगी. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. It was so warm, so bright. The birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field, back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. Prussia was वर्ल्ड वॉर सेकेंड से पहले एक कंट्री थी जर्मन और पोलैंड को मिलाकर, उसे प्रूशिया बोलते. सॉ मिल, जो लकड़ी काटने वाली मिल होती है उसे सॉ मिल बोलते हैं. ड्रिलिंग, एक्सरसाइज करना. अब फ्रांस के मन में तो एक और ऑप्शन थी कि आज भाग जाओ स्कूल से, मिस करो, बंक करो स्कूल को. हाँ, बंक करो स्कूल को. फ्रांस had another option in his mind, to miss the school and enjoy the day out in the warm and bright weather. वो उन्होंने सीन को डिस्क्राइब किया है कि पंछी चहचहा रहे हैं वृक्षों के ऊपर और प्रूशियन सोल्जर्स के ड्रिल करने की आवाजें आ रही हैं, सॉमिल के पीछे सुनाई पड़ रही हैं. And he feels it was much more tempting than the rule of participles. But I had the strength to resist and hurried off to the school. Tempting means here attracting, and resist means to stay away. अपने आप पे काबू रखना. The scene outside was more attractive than the school, but France controlled the temptation and chose to attend the school. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come from there. The lost battles, the draft, the orders of the commanding officer, and I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now? Bulletin board, a notice board for putting up the latest news and communication. जैसे ही फ्रांस टाउन हॉल के पास से गुजरे, उन्होंने देखा कि नोटिस बोर्ड के पास तो बहुत सारे लोग खड़े हुए हैं. प्रूशिया के साथ लड़ाई शुरू हो गई थी, 2.5 साल पहले इसकी लड़ाई चल रही थी. और since all the bad news was Luke is losing the war, occupation of Alsace and Lorraine by the enemy, that is Prussia, etc., had been communicated to the people through this bulletin board. इसी bulletin board पे सारी सूचनाएं लिखी होती थी. Franz kept on walking toward the school and thought in his mind that what news could have been put up on the notice board. सोच रहा था कि आज कौन सी नई न्यूज नोटिस बोर्ड पे होगी. He was not aware कौन सी थी. सोच रहा था क्योंकि उसे मालूम था कि सारी की सारी जो बैड न्यूज हैं वो इसी नोटिस बोर्ड से आती है. Then as I hurried by the fast as I could. Then as I hurried as fast as I could go, the blacksmith, Washer, who was there with his apprentice, reading the bulletin, called after me, "Don't go so fast, Bob. You have got to your school in plenty of time." I thought he was making fun of me and reached Mr. Hamill's little garden out of breath. कहते फ्रेंड्स कहते हैं जैसे मैं जा रहा था स्कूल की तरफ, ब्लैकस्मिथ वाशर, वो न्यूज़ पढ़ रहा था, अपने अप्रेंटिस के साथ आया हुआ था, उन्होंने मुझे पुकारा फ्रॉम बिहाइंड और कहा कि इतनी जल्दी क्यों है तुम्हें बच्चे, बहुत टाइम आ गई स्कूल पहुंचने के लिए। फ्रैंक्स ने सोचा कि ब्लैकस्मिथ वो लुहार उनका मजाक उड़ा रहा है क्योंकि ऑलरेडी स्कूल के लिए लेट हो चुके थे। When Franz reached the garden outside the school, he was out of breath as he has walked very fast. Usually, when the school began, there was a great bustle which could be heard out in the street, the opening and closing of desks, the lessons repeated in unison very loud, with our hands over our ears to understand better, and the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. Now we come across few words. One is a great bustle means a lot of noise created by many people. In unison. हमारे ज़माने में हम करते थे ऐसा। मॉनिटर खड़ा होता था, वो कहता था, पहाड़े पढ़ता था और हम पीछे पीछे रिपीट करते थे। That is called unison. At the same time, rapping, striking. Franz describes the usual scene at the school morning. A lot of noise created by moving of desks, children repeating their lessons, and teachers striking the tables with the rulers could be heard. But now, it was all so still. I counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. But of course, that day, everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. Counted on, depended upon. Commotion, noise, confusion. कहते वो दिन बहुत अनयूजुअल था क्योंकि कुछ साउंड ही नहीं आ रही थी स्कूल से। ऐसा लगता था कि स्कूल जो है वो बंद है, जैसे एक संडे मॉर्निंग को होता है। Francis planned that he would take over under the commotion. इस शोरगुल के अंदर वो क्लास में पहुंचेगा और बगैर किसी के नजर आए, नोटिस में आए, वो बैठ जाएगा। But that didn't seem possible. Through the window, I saw my classmates already seated, already in their places, and Mr. Hamill walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. Franz peeped inside the class and saw his classmates seated and Mr. Hamill, their teacher, walking in the class with ruler made of iron placed under his arm. Francis peeped inside his class and saw his classmates seated and Mr. Hamill, their teacher, walking in the class with a ruler made of iron placed under his arm. Franz feared a beating. I had to open the door and go in before anybody. You can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. Blush means face turned red due to shame. Franz was amazed of being late and feared of scolding as he had to enter the classroom in front of everyone. As he had to enter the classroom in front of everyone. But nothing happened. Mr. Hamill saw me and said very kindly, "Go to your place quickly, little friends. We were beginning without you." फ्रेंड्स को बहुत अजीब लगा कि उस दिन मिस्टर हेमल ने कुछ नहीं कहा और उसके बाद प्रीत पोलाइटली उसे कहा कि आ जाइए अपनी सीट पर, हम क्लास आपके बगैर शुरू करने वाले थे. द क्लास वॉज अबाउट टू बिगिन विदाउट यू. आई जंप्ड ओवर द बेंच and sat down at my desk. Now till then, when I had got a little over my fright, did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and a little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except on inspection and prize days. Now Franz ने क्या किया? जल्दी से अपनी सीट पे गए. थोड़ी सी देर के बाद when he overcome the scare and became comfortable, उसने नोटिस किया कि उनका टीचर ने तो आज अपनी सबसे बढ़िया कढ़ाई की हुई ड्रेस डाली हुई. ये ड्रेस वो आमतौर पर डालते थे जब स्कूल में कोई इंस्पेक्शन हो, प्राइज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो या चर्च में जाना हो. तब Franz wondered if that day was a normal day. ये यकीन नहीं आ रहा था ये एक नॉर्मल दिन है. What could be the reason for Mr. Hamill to wear his special dress? क्यों डाली उन्होंने special dress? Why he has worn it? Besides, the whole school seemed so strange and solemn. But the thing that surprised me most was to see on the back benches that were always empty, the village people sitting quietly like ourselves. Old Hauser, with his three-cornered hat, the former mayor, the former postmaster, and several others besides. Solemn means serious. आज फ्रेंड्स ने महसूस किया कि आज का स्कूल का वातावरण जो है वो बहुत सीरियस है, बहुत विचित्र है और सोलम है, बहुत अनयूजुअल है. He felt that the atmosphere in the school was unusual and serious. To add to it, वो जो लास्ट बेंचेस हमेशा खाली रहते हैं उनमें गांव के बूढ़े बुजुर्ग बैठे हुए थे. हाउसर जो उसने अपने थ्री कॉर्नर हेड डाला हुआ था, मेयर, रिटायर्ड मेयर, पोस्टमास्टर, ऐसे ही लोग. The last benches of the classroom were occupied by the senior village man. Hauser was wearing a three-cornered hat, the retired mayor, the postmaster, etc. Everybody looked sad. Everybody looked sad. And Hauser had brought an old primer, thumbed at the edges, and he held it open on his knees with his great spectacles lying across the pages. Primer means primary ki kitab, basic reader of any language. Thumbed, torn and damaged. निशान पड़े हुए, टूटे हुए, जैसे पिक्चर में दिखाया गया. They all looked sad. They all looked sad. Hauser has brought his reader, which was an old and torn. He had opened it, kept it on his knees, and had placed his spectacles on it. While I was worrying, wondering about all it, Mr. Hamill mounted his chair, and in the same grave and gentle tone which he had used to me, said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive." Grave means serious. France was confused and couldn't figure out what was happening. What was happening that day? Just then Mr. Hamel told them that it was their last lesson in French, as the Prussians in Berlin had ordered that French language would no longer be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine, and the German language be taught instead. The German teacher would arrive the next day, and this was the last lesson in French. He wanted them to pay attention. What a thunderclap these words were to me. Oh, the wretches! That is what they had put up at the town hall. Thunderclap means used in comparison to referring something startling or unexpected. आसमान से बिजली गिरना हिंदी में बोलते हैं. Wretch here refer to unfortunate happenings. वो गलत आदमी, वो बदमाश लोग. Franz was shocked to know that he couldn't learn French any longer, and now he knew the latest news that had been put up at the bulletin board in the town hall. My last French lesson. Why? I hardly know how to write. Aha, I should never learn any more. I must stop there. Then, oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking birds' eggs or going sliding on the Saar, a river which passes through the French. This is called a Saar. अब फ्रेंच रिग्रेट कर रहा था, वो अपने आप को कोस रहा था. मेरा आखिरी फ्रेंच कलेक्शन, मैं तो अभी लिखना पढ़ना जानता ही नहीं. क्या मैं कभी अब फ्रेंच नहीं लर्न कर पाऊंगा? मुझे यहाँ रुकना होगा. और मैं कितना शर्मिंदा था अपने आप से कि मैं अपने पाठ नहीं पढ़ता था ध्यान से, और पाठ पढ़ने के मैं अपनी पढ़ाई पे ध्यान नहीं देता था. उसके बदले मैं पक्षियों के अंडों के पीछे भागता था या नदी में तैरने चला जाता था. Franz regretted for not being serious towards studies and for wasting his time in hunting birds' eggs and playing in the Saar River. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry, my grammar and my history book, History of the Saints, were old friends now that I couldn't give up. Nuisance means problem, burden. Couldn't give up means can't leave. कहते हैं मुझे वो जो किताबें, वो जो थोड़ी देर पहले मुझे एक बोझ लगती थी, एक बर्डन लगती थी, एक प्रॉब्लम लगती थी. मेरी ग्रामर की किताब, मेरी हिस्ट्री ऑफ सेंट्स, अब ऐसा लगता था मेरे पुराने दोस्त हैं जिन्हें मैं छोड़ नहीं सकता. Till now, Franz considered his book to be an unwanted burden. But suddenly, he started considering them to be his best friends, whom he could never leave. The writer wants to show the changes in Franz's attitude towards study after hearing the news that he couldn't learn French any longer. And Mr. Hamel too. The idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. Cranky means stage, short-tempered, गुस्से वाला. अब ये खबर कि हेमल सब जा रहे हैं, इसे भी मुझे उदास कर दिया। फ्रांस नहीं जाना चाहता कि वो जाए। अब वो भूल गया था कि मेरा मेरा जो टीचर है कितना शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड था, कितना गुस्से वाला था, कितना स्ट्रिक्ट था। नहीं, उसे प्यार करता था। The news that their teacher Hemal was leaving also had a similar impact on him. France didn't want him to go away. He no longer thought the teachers to be short-tempered and strict. Poor man. It was in the honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. And now I understood why the old man of the village was sitting there in the back of the room. Sunday clothes mean the best dress that a person has. हम अपनी बेस्ट ड्रेस कब जाते हैं, क्या पहनते हैं? जब हम बाजार जाते हैं, जब किसी फंक्शन में जाते हैं, तभी ना. Now France knew that Mr. Hamel was wearing, why Mr. Hamel was wearing his best dress. He knew that now Mr. Hamel was wearing this new dress in honor of his last lesson. He also realized that the village men had come to pay respect and thank Mr. Hamel for service of 40 years to the school. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. और विलेज के लोग वहां क्यों आए थे क्लास को अटेंड करने के लिए? वो भी पछता रहे थे कि क्यों अपने बचपन में वो ढंग से नहीं पढ़े. वो आए थे वहां अपने उस टीचर को थैंक करने के लिए जो 40 साल तक वहां फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज का टीचर बन के अपनी सेवाएं देता रहा. वो साथ में वो ये भी चाहते थे कि अपनी कंट्री की को रिस्पेक्ट दे सके, और वो बहुत उदास थे कि उनकी मदर टंग फ्रेंच अब उन्हें नहीं पढ़ाई जाएगी. The village men had come to the class as they were also repenting for not have studied well in their childhood. They had come to thank their teacher for his 40 years of service as a teacher of French. Also, they wanted to show respect to their country, which was not theirs anymore, and were sad as their mother tongue French would no longer be taught. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. Now, the teacher now, मैं ये सोच रहा था, ऐसा सोच रहा था कि टीचर ने मेरा नाम बुलाया. The teacher called out to Franz as it was his turn to recite the topic on participle. It was my turn to recite. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear, and without any mistake? Dreadful means frightening. As the news has impacted France, he was eager to study and go. So he was desperate to show his eagerness. He wanted to be able to recite the topic in one go and without any mistake and please his teacher. His desperation is reflected in his willingness to give away all that he had in return for reciting the lesson well. But I got mixed up. But I got mixed upon the first word and stood there holding onto my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look. Mixed up, confused. As Franz didn't know the lesson, he got confused and stood quietly. His heart was beating. His heart was beating fast, as he was ashamed of himself and didn't have the courage to face his teacher. I heard Mr. Hamel say to me, "I won't scold you, little friends. You must feel bad enough. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, it's plenty of time. I'll learn it tomorrow. This is what is wrong with you, us children." हम हमेशा यही कहते हैं, अरे बहुत टाइम है, कल कर लें, अरे एग्जाम तो मार्च में होने हैं ना, क्या हो गया, हो जाएगा. This is what is there. Plenty of time. I will learn it tomorrow. And now you see where we have come out. Where we have come out means what's the result of it? Mr. Hamel said to Franz that he would not scold him as now he has realized his mistake. कहते आज मैं तुम्हें मारूंगा नहीं, गुस्सा नहीं करूंगा, क्योंकि तुमने अपनी गलती को मान लिया है, realize कर लिया है. Every day Franz told himself that he would study the next day, and now the opportunity to study has ended as he knew the thing. And that is the great trouble with Elsake. She puts off learning till tomorrow. Now those fellows out there will have the right to say how it is. You pretend to be Frenchman and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language. But you are not the worst, poor little friends. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. Pretend show, to reproach, to blame. To blame. अपने आप को धिक्कारे हम. Mr. Hamel says that all the people of Elsake were to be blamed, as no one was serious towards learning. He tells the class that enemies, Prussians, would laugh at them and say that they only show to be Frenchmen, as they can neither speak or nor write their language. कहते वो प्रूशियन हम पर हंसेंगे कि कैसे फ्रेंचमैन हो, तो अपनी लैंग्वेज ही नहीं जानते, ना बोल सकते हो, ना पढ़ सकते हो, ना लिख सकते हो. He says that France should not feel guilty, as everyone is at fault. As everyone is at fault. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. They prefer to put you to work on a farm or at the mills so as to have a little more money. And I have been to blame also. Have we not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? अब मिस्टर हैमल कहते हैं फ्रेंड्स को कि आपके पेरेंट्स भी जो है इंटरेस्टेड नहीं थे कि आपको एजुकेट किया जाए. वो तो चाहते थे तो किसी फार्म में काम करे या मिल में काम करे और कुछ पैसा कमा के लाए. कहते मैं भी ब्लेम, मेरे पे भी ब्लेम आता है. मैं भी एज टीचर इंटरेस्टेड नहीं था आपको पढ़ाने में. He says that as a teacher, he was also not interested in teaching them. He would send them to his home to water the plants. Sometimes he would go, declare a holiday to go for fishing. कभी कभी वो छुट्टी कर देते स्कूल में क्योंकि उन्हें मछली पकड़ने जाना होता था. Thus, from one thing to another. Mr. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it, because One people are enslaved as long as they hold fast to their language. It is as if they had the key to prison. Here, Mr. Hamill seems to be very emotional. वो अपनी मदर टंग की प्रेज करते हैं. वो कहते हैं हमारी एक जगह से एक बात शुरू करते थे, दूसरी करते थे, अब वो फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज की बात करते हैं. कहने लगे ये सबसे ब्यूटीफुल लैंग्वेज है वर्ड की, सबसे क्लियर, सबसे मोस्ट लॉजिकल. और बिकॉज द फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज एज बीइंग द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल, clearest and the most logical language in the world. It tells the class to guard their language as it is the only way to free themselves from the prisons of slavery. कहते हमारी अपनी भाषा चाबी है, चाबी हमें स्लेवरी की चेनों से बाहर निकालने. If a person knows his mother tongue well, no one can enslave him. अगर आपको अपनी मातृभाषा अच्छी तरह आती है, कोई भी आपको गुलाम नहीं बना सकता. Knowing the mother tongue as well as a language is a tool to fight domination. Is a tool to fight domination. Then he opened a grammar book and read out our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. All he said seemed so easy. So easy. I think too. I think too that I had never listened so carefully, and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all that he knew before going away, and to put it in all into our heads at one stroke. At one stroke means at once. At once. At one stroke means in one go. The teacher took a lesson in grammar. That day, Franz was surprised that he understood the lesson with ease. Surprised था, इतनी जल्दी समझ गया. क्यों समझ गया वो? क्योंकि उस दिन उसने पूरा ध्यान दिया था. He felt that had he been attentive, and that Mr. Hamill also explained the lesson with a lot of patience. वो भी attentive था और आज हेमल में भी बड़े धैर्य के साथ पढ़ाया था. Franz felt that the teacher wanted to give them all the knowledge he had before leaving. जो कुछ वो जानता है सब कुछ उन्हें बताना चाहता था. After the grammar, we had a lesson in writing. That day, Mr. Handel had new copies for us, written in a beautiful round hand, Franz Elsake. ग्रामर के बाद हमारा राइटिंग का लेसन था. उस दिन मिस्टर हेमल ने हमें नई नोटबुक्स दी और उन पे लिखा हुआ था, ब्यूटीफुली रिटन था, फ्रांस एल्साके. After the grammar, their lesson in writing, Mr. Hamill gave the class new notebooks with Franz Elsake, beautifully written in them. They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the classroom. Hung from the rod at the top of our desks, you ought to have seen how everyone set to work and how quiet it was. The only sound was the scratching of the pens over the paper. Franz felt that here was an air of patriotism in the class. The notebook was like flags of France that were floating all around. The entire class was busy writing, and the only sound that could be heard was that of the pen writing on the paper. Once, some beetles flew in, but nobody paid any attention to them. Not even the littlest ones who worked right on tracing their fishbone hooks, as if that was French too. Beetles, a large-sized insect, not even the littlest ones. Here refers to the pigeons, and who worked right on the tracing their fish hooks means scratching with their claws. Once some mosquitoes flew into the class. Beetles flew into the class. But no one panicked as everyone was busy writing. The writer considered the pigeons sitting on the roof of the class to be students as well, and says that even the pigeons were busy scratching the roof with their claws, and it seemed that they were also busy writing the task of French language. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low, and I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German? Even my pigeons. My dear children, this line is most important. It's the gist of the note. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low, and I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons cooed means sound made by the pigeons. The coo sound of the pigeons could be heard in the class, and France wondered that why would the Prussians force the pigeons also to change their language and coo in German? The writer wants to say that the language comes naturally to a being and it can't be forced upon anyone, be it the pigeons or the Frenchman. Yes, mother tongue, इसीलिए that is why it's called the mother tongue. क्यों कहते हैं? माँ सिखाती है, और एक हिंदुस्तानी माँ हिंदुस्तानी में ही सिखाएगी, एक हरियाणवी हरियाणवी सिखाएगी, एक पंजाबी पंजाबी सिखाएगी, एक फ्रेंच सिखाएगी, जर्मन जर्मन सिखाएगी. तो पिजन्स को भी वही भाषा आएगी ना जो उनकी माँ सिखाएगी. Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw Mr. Hamill sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing and another, then at another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little class schoolroom. Gazing, looking intently, fixing in mind, store or keep forever. In between writing, France looked. At Mr. Hamill, who sat still and stared at different things in the classroom in succession, as if he wanted to memorize the appearance of everything before leaving. Fancy, for 40 years he had been there in the same place, with his garden outside the windows and his class in front of him. Only just like that. Only the desks and the benches have worn smooth. The walnut trees in the garden were taller, and the hope vine that he has planted himself twin above the window of the roof. Worn smooth matlab, worn out, becomes smooth due to use, twin matlab twisted. Mr. Hamill had been teaching at the same place for the last 40 years. The only changes were the desks in the classroom has worn out. Due to use over the years, the walnut trees in the garden outside had grown taller, and the hope vine of the outer wall of the school building has climbed up to the roof. How it must have broken his heart. How It must have broken his heart. To leave it all, poor man, to hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country next day. Franz feels that the teacher must have been heartbroken to be sent away from a place where he had spent 40 years of his life. The noises of his sister packing and moving their language could be heard from the room upstairs as they had to leave the next day. But he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. After the writing, we had a lesson in history, and then babies chanted their ba bi bi ba bi bi bo boo. Ba bi bi bo boo means the alphabets. But Mr. Hamel remained composed and heard the lesson from the entire class. After the writing test task, there was a lesson of history, followed by phonetics, which they recited the sounds of alphabets. Franz referred to the class as babies, because although they were grown up, they were reciting the lesson of the phonetics, which is usually done by younger children. So he calls himself and his classmates babies. Down at the back of the room, old Hauser had put on his spectacles and, holding his primer in both his hands, spelled the letters with them. You could see that he too was crying. His voice trembled with emotions, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. And how well I remember it, that last lesson. हाउसर ने अपना चश्मा चढ़ा लिया था, प्राइमर को अपनी किताब को दोनों हाथों में पकड़ा हुआ था और क्लास के साथ वो पढ़ रहा था शब्दों को। He was crying, रो रहा था। उसकी आवाज कांप रही थी जब वो बोलता था। Franz has mixed feelings. He found it funny to see how an old man like Hauser was crying and trembling. And on the other hand, he also felt emotional like Hauser did. Franz could never forget this last letter. All at once, the church clock struck 12. Then the Angelus means prayer song in the church, that the start of the start is marked by ringing of the bell. वहाँ बेल बजती है पहले घंटाघर की, फिर वहाँ चर्च होती है. Just then the clock of the church just struck 12 and the prayer song began. At the same moment, the trumpet of the processions returning from drill sounded at our window. Mr. Hamel stood up very pale in his chair. I never saw him look so tall. Pale means जिसमें colorless हो जाता है. At the same moment, the sound of the trumpets played by the Prussian soldiers who were returning from the day were heard. Mr. Hamel's face became dull and colorless as the time had come for the class to get over. He stood straight and motionless, and Franz says that he had never appeared to be so tall. My friends, said he, I, but something choked him. He couldn't go on. Then he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could, "I will of France." Choke means gala looser, unable to speak. Mr. Hamel ने बोलना शुरू किया, पर वो बोल नहीं पाए, क्योंकि इमोशंस ने उसे ओवरपावर कर लिया था, एज ही वाज ओवरपावर्ड बाय हिज इमोशन, उसका गला रुंध गया था, उन्होंने सिर्फ इतना ही कह सके मैं, बस। Then what he did? He took a piece of chalk and wrote the letters जितना बड़ा लिख सकते थे, Viva France, meaning long live France, on the blackboard as large as he could. Then he stopped and leaned his head against the wall and without a word made a gesture to us with his hands. School is dismissed. You may go. जैसे सिग्नल करना, फिर वो रुके, उन्होंने लिखना छोड़ दिया, दीवार के साथ सिर टिकाया और बगैर कोई शब्द कहे हाथ हिला के कहा क्लास को, कहा the class will leave as the class was over. कहा जाइए, अब क्लास खत्म। Then he stopped writing, bent towards the wall, and without speaking anything, signaled to the class to leave as the class is over. As the class is over. This is what this lecture was. I hope you must have understood it. You must have enjoyed this. Now, I'll come up with the question answer session. I'll ask you certain questions. Give you time to think over the questions, and then we'll give you answers to match your answers with me. With that, I end here to start the questions session.
इस वीडियो को लास्ट तक देखने के लिए थैंक यू। अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आया है तो इसे लाइक और शेयर करें। सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल न भूलें। अगर आपको कोई डाउट है तो कमेंट सेक्शन में उसे लिखें, हम जल्दी ही उसका रिप्लाई दें।